Dropbox is starting to finally test their Dropbox Spaces 2.0 feature. It's in beta right now, and I'm thinking if they're gonna get bought out sometime soon, once they figure this out, this could be one of the final steps. Welcome back to the channel, family. My name is Trey, getting in touch with you from Japan. On this channel, we take a look at individual stocks and stuff like that. I also have a secondary channel looking at entrepreneurship and talking a lot about the different businesses we're doing here in Japan and stuff like that. If you're interested in that, I would appreciate it if you could click up here, check that channel out, and go subscribe over there too. This is our 5th video on Dropbox that we've done in the last few months. Initially, in the first few videos, I was kind of like, I don't know why everybody's so in love with Dropbox. I'm not gonna invest in it. Let's just hold on to our cash, guys. And sure enough, the stock price basically stayed flat at like 18, 19 bucks. I did, however, invest in Microsoft, which made some nice gains over that time. But in our most recent video, if you want to check it out, click up here on Dropbox. I talked about how they finally crossed over some of those thresholds that I needed to see for me to start investing and taking a little position in Dropbox. Here's the 3-month chart going back to early September, where we see things largely cycling between 18 and 20 bucks just until recently. Last night, we got a nice 5% gain in one day, which is the first gain of that size in a while. I've been pretty clear over all of these videos about my largest concern with the company. My largest concern is that they basically have more than 600 million users and only about 2% of them are actually paying for something. Dropbox is on a lot of people's computers and devices, but mostly just for the free 2 gigabytes of storage. So converting people into paying users has really been the largest struggle. We've also touched on the commoditization of the cloud storage industry and basically how a banana is a banana is a banana, and people are basically just gonna choose the cheapest one or the free one if that's all they need. And by and large, more and more companies are offering 2 gigabytes of free cloud storage, so why choose one over the other? And then in Dropbox's case, how do you get people to be willing to start paying for more services? What kind of services can you offer to actually get them to step up, even if it's just $1 a month? That monthly recurring revenue could end up being big over many, many years. So as the industry kind of heats up and competition heats up, their growth has been slowing down. They're still growing, but the growth has been slowing down. And so looking at those factors has really kept me from investing. In another video I did recently on a large company called Salesforce stepping up to buy a smaller company called Slack, I talked a lot about how really big behemoths that already have access to so many different kinds of clients, by buying a smaller company like Slack that has a lot of loyalty and a lot of users that are kind of in a separate segment of the market, by unifying those, it allows Salesforce not only to upsell and provide more services to this huge user base already present in Slack, but it also offers Salesforce the opportunity to provide new services to its already existing clients. And I think as Dropbox starts to provide more of these kind of free value-added services, some of them aren't actually free, but as we see Dropbox stepping up and offering more things like Spaces 2.0, I really wouldn't be surprised if we see bigger companies who are kind of looking at it and being like, they have 600 million users and more of their users are using Dropbox every day in their workflows. How can we capitalize on that? How can we sell more to them? How can we offer more value? And so today I wanted to look a little bit at Spaces and how it can provide more value, but also how it might look really appealing for a larger company trying to take over. I've mentioned many times that our company uses Slack and we also use Dropbox and we love them and we're loyal to them and we're okay paying money for them each month. But when larger companies kind of step in, like in the Salesforce case, I think Salesforce won't change Slack's offering, so to speak, but Salesforce might be able to look and say, hey Trey, your company might be able to benefit from one of our other services, like automated sales management or different AI services that they provide. And in the same way, if another company were to pick up Dropbox, we might see kind of synergistic opportunities on both sides of the equation as well. We have seen Dropbox trying to shed the cloud storage image by making acquisitions like they did with HelloSign, starting to offer more and more services. And as you know, this year has basically forced working from home and different kinds of creative working environments. And I think Dropbox and Slack and all these different kinds of companies that just make it easy for teams to connect, in Dropbox's case, sharing huge files, being able to access all the same folders with your team, as well as HelloSign and Dropbox Paper, and coming up soon, Dropbox Spaces 2.0 and stuff like that, we're probably going to see them being able to differentiate themselves a little bit more from all the other strictly cloud storage services. I've been invited to Dropbox Spaces 2.0 beta, and remember, beta basically just means they're testing stuff, working it out, figuring out the final steps before they launch it publicly. So I wanted to share a little bit with you guys what that looks like. And again, I think this could be one of those steps that gets their 600 million user base to maybe take a step up and start paying for something, which is really the struggle I think Dropbox has been having over the years. So let's just take a quick look at that. So check it out. Here we are in the beta version of Dropbox Spaces 2.0. I've just been horsing around in here for a few minutes, and keep in mind that it's beta, so everything's going to change, everything's going to get better. But basically in here, whether you're trying to, like, check it out, it says start with a template. You could do like a project or a client's project or a team wiki to store different knowledge or different history about stuff, organize a workshop, or your own space to just take notes and keep to-do lists and things like that. I just slapped together this make a Dropbox video project. So you click on it, it goes in. I can change this format if I want to. This is all just like easily editable. Description of what's going on. You can add little like to-do lists. This is all just stuff that's, template kind of thing. But down here, this is where it starts to get really cool. So I actually wrote these in. So for my Dropbox project, I'm gonna write a script from these days and I can move this around. If I click on this, I can like add a person and be like, hey Bob, write my script for me, sucka. Film and edit, that's gonna take me like super long because I put so much effort into these videos for you guys. That's like 10 days. I'm gonna add myself. I could click on here, assign it to me, and then I'll get a notification. Then uploading to YouTube, doesn't take that long, so I can move that over here. Then I can add milestones that notify my team like, hey guys, we've finished blah, blah, blah. Now we're gonna do blah, blah, blah kind of thing. So having this kind of visual representation, especially when you're on super big projects with a lot of different people, helps you keep track of what you need to be doing when. So let's check it out. Going back to the earlier steps, I wonder what MySpace looks like. I mean, your space, not myspace.com. That thing's broken. Your space name. Personal work, tasks, and notes. So we got reminders, important links. My personal growth. What are these? Working with me. Help your colleagues understand your personality, working style, and goals. Interesting. So this is like, what's important to me, what I'm energized by, what I'm not energized by. This is how I work. These are my goals. So you can make like a little, that's kind of cool. Especially when you're working in bigger teams where you don't have time to get to know everybody. Kickstart your team's next project. Get started with paper templates. Oh, okay, so this is a paper document. So paper, which I've mentioned many times, is basically like a word processor, but wow, this is all new actually. All these different templates of things you can make documents about just to have. And the cool thing about paper is that it's all stored online, so it's super easy to share. It's accessible from all your different devices really easily. So that's just a quick look at Spaces 2.0. Again, the appearance is going to change, and a lot of those examples, it was like just me on one thing, but if you zoomed out and maybe you had a 5 or 10 person team, or even a 50 or 100 person team using those calendar tools, and also being able to organize thoughts and comment on other people's things using Dropbox paper and all those different kind of templates and formats and stuff like that, could make things really easy for teams to coordinate a little bit better. We did see average revenue per user, ARPUs, stepping up about 1% in the last quarterly report. And that's what you kind of need to be seeing. And I think some of these new features will help push that number up going into the future. We actually have had a lot of discussion down in the comments section in previous videos about what kind of company might be interested in buying a company like Dropbox. We know Microsoft already has Teams, and Teams has a huge following, and it's actually not cheap. And they also have cloud storage all connected to that and stuff too. So I don't think a big company like Microsoft would be interested. Some people have suggested something like Oracle Oracle's also already a really huge cloud storage company, and I don't really know if Dropbox offers enough to make it interesting enough for Oracle to take them over. So I don't really have any really good ideas. Speaking of Oracle, they did just announce that they're moving to Texas from Silicon Valley, which is like, you know, further extending the exodus from California that I'm just seeing all over the news and all over everything. Don't know if that impacts you guys or not. Let me know down in the comment section. But yeah, back to Dropbox. I don't really know how Spaces alone is going to affect things, but I am confident that if it works out well and if they iron out the kinks and they make it look dope, and maybe if they were to offer a native app especially for the different platforms and maybe even mobile, that would really take it up to the next level. I feel like Dropbox's app thing on OS X, at least right now, is like not very cool to look at and not very easy to use. But if they were to kind of step all that up and make it feel like something like Trello or Slack, where it's just real slick and clear and easy to use, that would be great. So I'm really excited to see where Dropbox goes with this in the coming weeks and quarters and months, and maybe even years. So yeah, looking forward to your thoughts down in the comment section below. Who do you think would be interested in buying Dropbox? Also, are you adding shares while their PE is still kind of low, while they're still largely disliked by a lot of the media? What do you think? Looking forward to your comments down below. Have a great week or weekend, depending on when you watch this. I love you guys and have a great one.